I think this will be my last marathon because I really still want there to be like bananas when I finish because there's no snack. There were no snacks when I finished BMW. And I was like, I just worked that hard.
Oh, no.
And there's nothing.
Meghan, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I officially met Meghan. I've seen her around races here and there, probably at some run groups. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I officially met her 2 weeks ago now at the Race for a Cure race.
Yep.
And I love her energy. And I was going around asking different moms, like, what's your inspiration and what motivates you? And she was just like, boom, 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 boom. And I was just looking at her and I was like, I think I need this one to
thank you.
inspire some other moms, because you and another person, I've looked at it several times and I was like, this is good. So yeah, I know so many moms are going to be encouraged, like, for real.
Well, good. I hope so.
And challenged, because we were just talking about her running marathons, and by the time this is out, I would have hopefully run one.
Yeah.
I tell my friends one and fun.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. So, because the training has been like a full-time job.
Yes, it has.
So, Meghan, as I'm getting to know you, tell me a little bit more about yourself and let our viewers know who Meghan is.
Hi, I'm Meghan. I am a 37-year-old mom. I've got 3 kids. I've got twin girls that are 10, so that's been fun. I feel like we're hitting the adventurous stage of preteen.
Did you
girls.
say 3 that are 10?
No, my twins.
Oh,
so my
okay.
twins are 10, twin girls, and then I have a 5-year-old little boy.
Okay.
And I am a full-time teacher. I've been teaching. I'm in my 15th year of elementary education. Yeah. Through my fitness journey, I've become an instructor at the YMCA. I have a cookie business that I do on the side. So I just kind of dabble in a lot of different things and hobbies to keep me busy.
Jack of all trades. I love
Always
it.
growing.
And
Always doing.
And she's joyful. Like, look at that smile. At the race, I have a video of you, and you're going, the race is beginning, and Meghan is like throwing the peace sign. I'm actually going to put it up.
Oh gosh,
for this video. No, it's a great picture.
Okay, good.
We were talking about pictures earlier. I promise you look great.
Okay, awesome.
You look strong. But I saw some of your pictures on Instagram, like your before and after pictures, and I was amazed at the difference.
Thank you.
You look great. I love how you said it didn't happen overnight. And that's something that I had to learn, especially after having my daughter, because in my early 20s, you can just like do a stomach crunch, eat a salad for a week, and you're like, bam, I can wear that dress and those heels again. But after having my daughter, I tried to run a 5K, 6 months after having her. I tried to actually run the entire thing, and I walked most of it. And I was just like, what in the world is happening? But of course, your body goes through a lot. And that's something that I had to learn after having her. And so thank you for saying that. It does not happen overnight. And I just want moms or women, young ladies, to understand it is a process. Can you share with us if there was a specific moment or when that light bulb came on that said, I need to make a change?
I don't think it was a specific moment, but I spent my entire life being overweight, not being happy with myself, and, I grew up in the generation where, everything was low fat and eat less. And then you get, eat less, work out more, and then, you lose weight. And that just never worked for me. And it was just a constant state of feeling like a failure. Every diet I would go on, I would be happy for a little bit. It worked for a little bit, and then I would go back, and then I would, do medications, and it would work, and then I would go back. And it was just a constant state of feeling like a failure. Like I was never happy within myself. Or if I was, it was temporary. And then I lived in that happiness, and I lived in that joy. And then you just kind of revert back to old habits. But I knew that I had always wanted bariatric surgery.
Okay.
And I wanted to wait until I was finished having children. And I was in a place. And there was a specific, I don't know if it was a moment, but it was just a realization that I had, because I had said it to my husband. We've been together, 19 years. And so he has loved me through all stages, all chapters, all parts of our lives together.
Yeah.
And I would say it in passing, I think I want to do this. I want to do this. And he was always supportive, but there was a part of me, I was always waiting, I think, for permission. And I realized that I don't need anybody's permission to do this for myself. I need your support.
Yeah.
And he has always given me that support. There's financial aspects to it. There's complete life change to it. And he's always been that support. But it was a realization to me that I didn't need anybody's permission to make that decision to better myself. And it's still something I struggle with. But when I realized that, that it was a game changer.
Yeah. Well, I want to say the part about like you were taking, doing these different diets. I completely understand. I recently just started meeting with a dietitian, probably 3 months now, 3 or 4 months. And this is the healthiest that I have felt, the most comfortable that I have been with my body, because like you, I did all the things, X, Y, Z, you name it, I've tried it all. And like you, I'm happy for 3 to 5 months, and then I'm like, okay, I don't need it anymore. I'm doing great. And then the cycle happens again where I'm not comfortable with my body and I'm sluggish. So yeah, I totally understand. I'm glad that you were able to find something that helped you, and you realized you don't need permission. You were able to figure out, what, if I'm going to do it, I need to get started. But one thing I have noticed about you is you are always smiling. And in your pictures and in person.
Oh, thank you.
And so has this always been Meghan, or has this lifestyle just been a bonus to you?
I mean, I would like to think that I'm a genuinely overall happy person.
Yeah.
I think that our happiness really truly derives from how we feel about ourselves. And before I had made the journey for bariatric surgery, I could portray a happy person, but I knew that I was not happy with myself. And I think through this transition, I've learned that when you are genuinely happy with the person that you are on the inside, and you genuinely love yourself, that joy just continues to spread tenfold.
Yeah.
We can all put a smile on our face, and we can all act like everything's great, and we can all, make jokes and have fun and be social. But if you don't feel that way about yourself on the inside, it affects so many aspects of your life. And I tell people the weight of, in my case, it was just the obesity, the way I felt about myself, the weight of that, the literal weight that it was adding to my life, but the figurative weight. I never realized the impact, what it would have on my life when it was lifted. And, when that's taken away and you love yourself more, you're willing to do things, you're willing to try things, you're willing to go out, and you can just live your most authentic self.
Yeah.
And when you're happier with yourself, I'm a happier wife, I'm a happier mom, I'm a happier professional.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to put it in words. It's just when you're happier with yourself, it affects every aspect of your life.
No, you're true. You said you want to try things new. And I remember when I started getting back, or a guest said returning back to the lifestyle that I had, I decided to go skydiving. Like,
look at you.
But, I don't think I would have done that if I were in the state that I was where I was just, not happy. I wasn't moving around as much and taking care of, making wise choices with my food. And so, for my birthday, my family was like, we're going to let you go we're going to take you skydiving. And I was like, let's go.
Oh my God.
And so, but it's true. You want to try new things because you feel comfortable. You become more confident if you're not already confident. I feel like you were already confident.
Not always. I mean, it's a something you work towards. I think we all feel differently every day, but
Yeah. But I 100% agree with you that you do want to, it's like, let me try this,
Yes.
I was interviewing a young lady a few weeks ago, and she said choosing to be active has helped her children and they've become more active. Have you seen this with your children?
I mean, yeah, I think as a mom of young children, your habits and routines as an adult are their habits and routines. The way that you live your life is the way that they live their life. And, I was thankful enough that I made this change while they were so young, because now we all pack up and go to the gym at least twice a week. They're wanting to run 5Ks. They're wanting to join my body pump class. And so they're normal to them. And I'm proud that they call it gym camp, going to gym camp. They have fun. And, but setting those routines and those habits, it's just their daily life.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what makes me happy and proud as a mom, is that, I'm listening to my body pump music and they're singing right along with me.
Yeah.
And so it's just, as a parent and as an adult, whatever you set your priorities to be, it automatically, that's their priority, but that becomes their priorities because you are guiding them and leading them.
Yeah. I had my sister-in-law on here, and she said that because I asked her, I was like, what motivated you, and she said, oh, I've always been active. She said when she was younger, her parents would go for jogs, and she would always see them through the window, running up to the door. And it just became a part of her lifestyle because, like you said, they're observing and they're seeing what you're doing. And I always say, like, even if you don't think that kids aren't watching, they're watching.
They're always watching.
And she also mentioned like how she doesn't like force her kids to do anything. She doesn't force them to eat, certain foods, because they're teenagers now. But one of them will come to her and say, you know what? I think I need to change the way that I'm eating because my skin looks this way. Or I'm feeling fatigued, so I probably need to drink more water. And my nephew, he comes to watch my dog. Walk my dog. And I'll go, go get you something out of the refrigerator. And he'll say, I'm going to have a water instead of a soda. Yep. And I'm like, look at you. Yep. But he's watching his mom. I really enjoy, and I know I've said this, but watching you on Instagram, and I love seeing you check off your goals.
Yeah.
I'm always nervous, like to put my stuff on like social media because I'm always like, what if I don't do it?
Can I pause you right there?
Absolutely.
That is exactly why I do it. Because going back to just always being a failure, feeling like a failure when it came to, diets and things in the past, I think that is why I am so open about my journey, because it helps keep me accountable.
Yeah.
Because if I put it out there, it's out there.
Yeah.
And it just is a motivator, and it just helps me, move forward. And I'm not afraid of my failures. I'm not afraid if I have a bad race, but I want to celebrate the celebrations.
Yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's fine. You answered my question because I was going to ask you, how has that helped you like stay accountable?
Yeah.
And every single time somebody comes on here, I am also challenged and I am also pushed. So now I'm like, okay, well, now I got to let people know, what I'm doing. Because I always post it after the race, and I'll just like post my training, and I won't ever say what I'm training for. And because I'm always like, I don't want
What if you fail?
Yeah.
What if they see me fail?
Yeah.
What if I don't make it?
Yes.
But at the same time, if you do put it out there, think of all the cheer squad you have behind you. Think of all the support you have behind you. And if it doesn't work out, so what?
Yeah.
You get up and do it again.
You're so amazing. So we can end the show now. No. Okay, well, thank you. That's really good. It's going to take baby steps for me to do it because I freak out. Like I used to post things, and then when I got to the longer distances, I was just like, ah!
Yeah. It's scary.
It's like, what if I, like you said, what if I fail? What if I don't do it? And I remember when I was training for I say it's my first half, but it's my first half that I actually trained for, because the first one,
did you just get out there and do that?
okay, so listen, the first half that I did, I used some app and I never followed the app correctly.
Okay.
And so the second one that I did, I actually hired a coach and I actually went out there and did all the things. Did all the runs. Like I felt like I was like, I've got this.
Right.
I ran it fine, but I never posted what I was like, what I was training for. It was just like, oh, I ran this amount of distance. But okay, so the next race that I'm doing, not this one.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's going to take baby steps. And see, you're being the personal trainer. You're like motivating I'm not a client, but
you know what? Put it out there.
Yes.
Put it out there. Let people see, let people cheer you on.
Yeah. Okay.
Put it out there.
So you are a personal trainer. What are some mantras or some tools you use to, like, when you're in that tough spot?
Yeah.
When you're training for a half or a full, let's say you're doing a half, 10 or 12 miles or a full, and you're like,
will this be over?
Yeah.
No. Well, it's, we were just kind of talking, I think, before we started. I now realize I scream the word push as I'm running towards the finish line. I've done that a couple of races. But I think what keeps me going is that I can stand in front of a mirror, you can stand in front of a mirror, and we have all made it through every single hard thing life has put out in front of us because we're here.
Yeah.
Every single hard thing that you have come in life, it doesn't have to be with running, it can be with work, it can be with being overwhelmed. You've made it through. You may have some scars, some battle wounds, a little bit of trauma in there, but you've made it to the other side. And so, this too shall pass. That we have made it through every single hard thing life has given us. Some of us are still in the weeds, in the thick of the hard things, but there's always another side.
Yeah.
And this too shall pass. It'll be over soon. Give it your all.
Yeah.
But I think that's what, it'll be over soon.
Yeah.
We'll be on the other side.
Yeah. One of Deanna, the lady that I was running with this morning, she said, we were talking about our races coming up. Because they have one, it's not it is a race, but they're just using it to, to train for their miles. And I was like, my goal is just to finish. And she said, my goal is just to have fun. And I said, okay. And so what you're saying, this too shall pass. I mean, it's going to pass, I'm going to finish the race, but I'm going to have fun doing it. Since you've changed your lifestyle, have you seen this, like, your story inspire someone else? And
I think so.
Yeah.
My hope, people tell me all the time, I don't know how you do it. Gosh, because I am so open with what I share and the things that I do push that out there because I want people to know that I work hard and I'm proud of how hard that I work.
Yeah.
And people tell me that they're proud of me all the time. Wow, look at you go. And I love the support and the validation, really, honestly, that, the social media world gives you, but on a more personal level.
Yeah.
Because I have been so open about my bariatric journey specifically. I work with my surgeons. I do webinars with my surgeons to spread that information out there. I do know 2 close acquaintances who have now gone through the bariatric surgery process themselves. They're on the other side. They're living happier, healthier lives. And I try to lend an ear when I can. I'm always an open book if people have questions. So I hope that I'm motivating, and I do know that I'm motivating people, but I don't, as far as, somebody saying, you did that for me. I can't really think of any
it's probably a million people, and one day somebody's going to come to you and it's going to have all the signatures of every single person that you have inspired. Not just with the, your lifestyle and you sharing that open book, but also your smile and the joy. You. I mean, because I was having this conversation with my sister the other day, and I was like, so many people, and I get it, but they take the working out and the just so serious. And it's so refreshing when you have somebody come in and they're like, hello, right? And it's like, you know what? It's really not that serious. Yeah. And so I really appreciate that. It's just, and I'm sure others do too. Yeah. But what has been your motivation just to keep going, even in those hard times when it's like, I want to give up?
My motivation is just, I think, continuing seeing where I was and where I am now.
Come on.
And like the things that I'm doing now 4 years ago would have never been, I would have never even fathomed. I created a reel on my Instagram that, was talking about, I wanted to run a faster marathon, and it was a video of me finishing a marathon. And then it went back to 5 years ago to a before picture, and it was said, we run marathons. Like,
yeah,
it's just, I've come so far, and I'm so proud of how far I've come. I'm proud of how hard I've worked. And so that's what keeps pushing me forward is trying new things. I've learned that I have to make fitness a priority for myself.
Yeah.
So I have a resolution every single year, especially after having bariatric surgery. For 2021, I had a resolution for 2022, 2023, 2024. And still haven't figured out my resolution for 2025 yet, but we'll get there. But I have to, and I think that's more something probably to do with my personality. I feel like I always have to be working towards something. Yeah. If I'm not working towards something, that's when I get comfortable and I get stagnant and I get lost in a sense.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go back to where I was.
Yep.
And so, if you don't want to go back to where you were, then you have to do things a new way.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm like you. I have to make goals. Otherwise, like you said, I'll just get stagnant and comfortable, just plateau and just say, okay, I'm good where I am without pushing myself or challenging myself, which is another reason why I am doing this marathon, because the young lady that I had on here, this line that she says, it just sticks with me. And she always says, I'm never going to be the fastest. I'm never going to be the strongest, but it's just getting out there and doing it. And I said, okay, I'm not going to be the fastest, and that's fine. And I'm not going to be the strongest person in CrossFit. That's totally fine, but for my daughter to see me actually doing it. And the other thing that I often say to myself is, if I'm pushing her in therapy and I'm saying, you can do it, stay on your stomach so many more minutes, and then I go run and I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk. How does that look? And so I always, those are some things that I often say to myself to remind me, Ava's watching you.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it may not look like it, but she sees and she hears. In those days when you're like, you can't reach those workouts, how do you deal with that? Because I know that when I can't do it, it's a whole mind thing.
It is.
Yeah.
The reality is we have on days and we have off days. That is life. It is. I have learned to give myself grace and to know that it's okay to give yourself grace. And you're not going to undo all that you've done in a day.
That's good.
You're not going to undo all that you've done in a week. We've gotten where we are by taking baby steps and taking time. And so if you need a week off, you need a week off. Because you have to make sure that you yourself are good to go in order to be your best self. So if that is a weekend where I don't get out of bed because I want to sleep, then that's what's going to happen. If we don't want to do anything, then we're not going to do anything. If we want to go home after school and sit and veg out on the couch, it's what we're going to do. But it's all in moderation. We don't do that every day.
Right.
But it's that mental health aspect. It's that physical health aspect.
Yeah.
And you've got to take care of yourself.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
What you just said about it's not going to undo.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have it in our head that if I don't run however many miles, if I don't do the workout, I am going to, for women, look a certain way, because we're very hard on ourselves, or I'm going to lose the mileage or the pace that I had. So that it's funny that you said, if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. This morning we were running and we were talking about how I was telling them, my coach, the first time that I met her 2 years ago, it was at a run camp, and she was running and she had her arms up and she was just like, we were in the mountains and she was just like frolicking and
she's having a good time.
She was. And I said, I want her to be my coach. And we talked and I told her, I said, Courtney, the first time I saw you, you were just having fun. She's like, yeah, we're supposed to have fun. She's like, if I don't feel like running, I'm not going to run. And so what I really like about her, the app that she uses with me is it'll say, did you do the workout? Yes. Did you do the workout? I modified it or skipped it. And if I skip it, she's not, why did you skip your workout? Yeah. She just puts it on for the next week. And it's like, I don't have to work out. I have the opportunity to work out. Yeah. I get to work out. And so another person that I had on here said, this is a gift. There are so many other people who do not have the option and the opportunity, the freedom that we have to go out there and do what we do. And every single time, like I go to CrossFit or I go run, I'm always just thanking God. I'm like, I get to do this. Yeah. I get to do this. And I'm just so grateful. And if I don't want to do it.
So what?
Yeah.
We're grown-ups. Yeah. That's a great thing about it.
Yes.
So through my marathon training, I have made it a point on social media. I track every week. So every Sunday I reflect on my week and I pull my mileage and I, check my plans. And the reality is have I hit every mileage every week of my training plan? No.
Okay.
But I reflect on that. I put it on there because that keeps me accountable. Whether anybody sees it or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it puts me accountable because then I'm like, okay, this week sucked. Next week is going to be better. I didn't do this last week. I'm going to do it this week.
Yeah.
And so just having that weekly reflection and being okay with weeks that suck.
Yeah.
And then coming back and making it better. It's just an ebb and flow. I'm sure, you've seen what success, what progress looks like when you're training. It's not an uphill. It is all over the place. Up, down, all around.
Yeah.
And that's true. Like, it's progress is one step forward.
Yeah.
Step back. 2 steps forward. It's back and forth.
Yeah. It's so true. when I look at my app and I see the stats, like you said, and my mileage, it's like, okay, so she'll have, I'm just making this up, we'll say 30 miles for the week, 24. Yeah. The next week, I actually hit my 30 miles.
Look at you.
I'm not saying that I did that, but I'm just, saying like there's some weekends or some weeks that I'm like, oh, okay, I actually did it. Yeah. But I'm okay with it,
there's no need to beat yourself. We have kids. We have lives.
Yeah.
I've got jobs. I've got 1, 2, 3 jobs, and I've got 3 kids. And so, if you don't hit your goals, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I look back, I haven't done any runs this week.
Okay.
And so, but what have I done? Well, I just launched a new class at the YMCA this morning. So I spent all week practicing, memorizing, using that mental load on something else. Even though I wasn't running, I was still doing something, and it's priorities. And, your kids, if your kids have events and that's our priority that week, but always coming back to making yourself that priority when you can.
Yeah. That's so good. Yeah. What encouraging word would you give to a mom who doesn't feel like they can physically get started?
It made me think of it when you were talking about your daughter and about, you're pushing her during therapy. I think the thing is you cannot water everybody else's grass and then expect yours to grow.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. And as women, as moms, we are just ingrained to pour ourselves into our children, into our homes, into our families, into our jobs. And if you're not taking the time to pour into yourself, that has consequences, it has effects, has a lot of negative effects, and it affects all aspects of your life. And so, just it's okay to take care of yourself. It's important. It's not selfish at all to say, you know what? I'm going to go for a run.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not selfish. That is taking care of yourself, and yourself is a priority.
Yeah.
So
that's so good. Mackenzie, my sister-in-law, when she was on here, she was saying, it's like the airplane method, or, you have to put the mask on yourself before you can take care of other people. And it's true. I've noticed that since I have been focusing on my health, my physical health, that I'm able to take care of my daughter better. Mm-hmm. She's heavy.
Yeah.
She may look tiny, but the girl got some muscle. And so I do not feel that I would be able to be as consistent and strong with taking care of her if I just scrolling all day, just vegging out. Not that those things are wrong, but I'm just saying, if I was just doing that all the time.
But there's a time and a place. We all love a good scroll and a good veg.
Okay, right. Yeah.
And I'm not talking about a vegetable.
Right. But yeah, you understand, like there like you said, there are times for that. But I'm so grateful for everything that you have just poured out, and the joy that was behind it, and the sincerity behind it. And so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people find you to cheer for you in your races?
So I'm running the New York Marathon the day that we're recording this in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, but I'm on Instagram, Finding Menefee. So that's where I am. I also have a cookie thing. It's called Made by Meg Cookies. But so Instagram, Finding Menefee is where I try to keep all of my, fitness and the annoying posts that people on Facebook might not want to see.
Okay.
That's where I really want my Finding Menefee page. That is just where, that is my outlet for all things that I want to share to not only keep myself accountable, but like you said, to hopefully inspire or motivate or,
encourage a lot of women. Well, Meghan, you have been a ball of joy and a ball of fun. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday to kick it with us.
I love it. I love it so much.
Bye, y'all.